The trade deadline has come and gone, and while Jack's wife was not able to trade him, some teams around the league got some sweet deals done. Will it move the needle in terms of futures odds, though? We're discussing it. Chalk and Chat starts right now.
From Las Vegas, this is Chalk and Chat, sponsored by Superbook in Westgate, Las Vegas.
Welcome into Chalk and Chat. I'm Mariah Jano. So much to get to today as we approach Week 10 of the pro football season. And here to help me dive into this weekend's slate of games, it's the guy that has truly defied the odds as he has yet to be served divorce papers by his angelic wife, Karen. It is the Fat Jack.
She can't trade me, and I can't get her to just simply add another player. She won't do that either. So.
That's always an issue.
We're stuck where we are 30 years in.
Oh, jeez. Okay, and next to him is our most special VIP guest, the man behind the curtain that knows what really goes on in the back room of a Vegas sports book. Sounds kind of scary. It's the Superbook's Jay Kornegay. Hello, Jay.
That is scary. It's
Great
like 40 years for me.
Woo.
She still can't get rid of it. I still like her.
Wow.
The wizard over here, I'm
You
telling you.
guys.
You've got 70 years
I
of
got
correct
2 winners.
relationships. We both know how to pick well.
Well, I really balance it out because I don't know how to pick them. Coming up on today's show, things have returned to status quo after weeks of domination by the Joes. Plus, the Superbook is handing out a mid-season report card. That's what Jay's here for. Which teams are passing with flying colors and which are failing miserably. And we can't have Jay in studio without a little Q&A with Jay. He's going on the hot seat before we get into best bets. But first, let's start with what happened in Week 9. Jack, you are Teddy today.
I love it.
So you get to drive this bus. What are we starting with?
We're
going to
stay in the non-passing lane for sure. And my favorite shows, Jay comes in, we get to ask real weird questions and stuff. So I'm excited about that. But yeah, last week versus a couple weeks before that, kind of got to exhale at the sports books a little bit because they had a much better week. We had gone through a couple of weeks where the favorites had been doing really well. 2 weeks ago, 11-3, not only straight up, but they covered the number and won straight up. The favorites did. So that kind of moved back to a normal amount where you had more underdogs than favorites. The over-unders were about the same. And you had some spots where the general public did well. You had games like what was it on Thursday? Baltimore. Baltimore killed Miami on Thursday. You had Los Angeles beat down New Orleans. That seemed like a real comfortable spot for the general public. But then you also had some things that we're normally seeing in September and over the last 30 years of me doing this, where you had some spots where you had very high percentage wagered teams losing. You had Detroit losing, you had Green Bay losing. Those are obviously going to be good for the house. So a little bit more normal, a little bit of an exhale for guys that are either in my side, which normally when Jay and them win, I win. When the general public loses, I don't do as well. So much better from that standpoint for myself and Jay, and a little bit more chaotic for the general public.
Yeah, Jay, I mean, looking at the last couple weeks, every time I popped into talk with John Murray, he's like, been another bad one. Like, we don't want to talk about how last week was. So just from the book's perspective, I know you guys are pretty aligned with what Jack just said, but looking at it overall, just how much was this last weekend needed? And was it much of a boost?
Yeah, it's really tough to talk to John these days.
Yeah.
It's like death.
Yeah.
We text each other all the time, and I feel for him because he goes through it, and every bookmaker goes through it. And it wasn't only just better this week, it was the best Sunday that we've had so far this year.
Oh, wow.
And so, and by far, it wasn't even close, with Carolina winning in Green Bay, Minnesota winning in Detroit. And you had games like Atlanta covering against New England. That was another big game for us. Even the wise guy pick, which was the Texans, a lot of sharp guys on the Texans against the Broncos, Denver. And you know what? It was a real good win for the house, and we certainly will take it. And it was a little easier talking to John on Monday than it has been earlier in the season.
Not all the sharps, because my guys went 4-0. So we stayed off. That one is actually really good. But do you equate? I know we're not to Q&A with Jay yet, but do you equate the biggest Sunday of the year having something to do with the two previous being such a good public weekend, to where were the volumes up, the handle up also, or do you know?
No, it was up, but it continues to roll as it's like snowballs, and because they were doing so well at the beginning of the year, the public. Weeks 1 through 6, it was incredible that they were doing so well, and That was why the demise of John,
Right,
just
John's,
talking
like,
to
ready to
him.
quit.
But, the volume increases as the pockets are full, they're ready to reload, and it all came crashing down this past Sunday.
That was my question.
We
It was
should
a
have
bad
anti-parlayed.
question. That was the week
This
to
was the
anti-parlay.
weekend to
yeah.
anti-parlay. We messed up. All right, we'll get back to that one.
time.
Yeah, in due time. All right, we are just getting started here on Chalk and Chat. Coming up, the Superbook is handing out midterm report cards as we dive into the Week 10 slate. Stick around.
You're watching Chalk and Chat, sponsored by Superbook in Westgate, Las Vegas.
All right, we are here at the Superbook at the Westgate, Las Vegas, doing what we normally do: wreak havoc and make people uncomfortable.
Mayhem early in the week. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, so here's what we gathered. Why do you like being here at the Superbook?
Oh, I just got off of work and I'm close to here, but I'm a diamond player here, so I've been betting here for a few years. I keep a pot over there. They take care of me time to time. So at times, it just makes sense. But at the end of the day, I just go to where I'm comfortable at, and here I'm comfortable.
This is one of the sports books that has the most screens. So you can, if you're a gambler, you can definitely catch up on every game at once. Also, they're very friendly to multiple sports.
Why do you like coming to the Superbook?
Because this is by far the best book in town. It's the most generous in odds. It's the most complimentary, and I live pretty close to here.
So what do you enjoy about coming to the Westgate?
Well, I'm a member in their sports contest, and I just like the environment, the location, and obviously the TVs, and nobody bothers me here.
Except for us.
How we doing, ladies? Good. We're doing great. You guys come to the sports very often?
Actually, our first time.
What do you think? You liking it?
Yes.
So, do you guys watch pro football at all?
I watch football, right? Everyone watches football.
You did. So you know a little bit about football. You know how to scream and yell and cheer, right? How long are you in town for? Make some bad choices. All right, as a group, make some bad choices. All right, because nobody's keeping score here. Those ladies are looking for some. If I was not married, I'm telling you, I would have plans for the entire week here.
Karen goes down. We know where we're gonna find Jack.
Backups from Florida. That's exactly where we're heading.
From Florida, really from Jersey, but they swear they're from Florida.
That's what they all do.
Yeah.
They take the accent south at least for part of the year.
Yeah, so we hope you enjoyed that one. Classic Florida.
Florida,
that's how my parents say it. I'm going down to Florida for the weekend.
You gotta love the Westgate though. There's great people, great food back there. So yeah, we
Jake,
really enjoyed it.
food.
Yes.
Got to give those people a raise. I love the food there.
They do a great job back
Yeah.
there.
No, I'm
addicting,
obsessed.
addicting back there.
Chocolate
Yeah.
chip cookies, yeah, you can eat those all
Love
day.
the
so.
cookies. We love the burger. We love them all. It's all good stuff. All right. So let's. That was fun.
Yeah,
You
it was
found
good.
your next wife.
So many friends.
If
mean,
you want
that's
her.
what I would do if I was single. I'd just go hang out over at the Westgate and hang out, find the gaggles of women back there and try to make
Yeah.
a friend.
See, I'm always there, but no luck for me. No luck
Not
for
finding
me.
the friends. All right.
No friends for me. But anywho, let's look at these Week 10 matchups that we've got going on. For you, you're like auto bets until further notice. What are we talking about here with
It's
that?
a time of the year when I'm grabbing onto certain teams and what they're doing well or not doing well, and I'm like, you know what? They can't fix that quick enough. There's only so many days in the week. They got to practice. They're not able to either learn to play defense or learn to play offense, or vice versa. It's really a tough time of year for them. And in fact, they're trading away some of their players as well as we pass the trade deadline.
Clearing it, yeah.
So just a couple of examples. Chicago's not playing defense. I mean, neither is Cincinnati. I could have gone there, but both these teams having trouble playing defense. And more importantly, Caleb Williams looks like he's getting it together a little bit. Things are slowing down a little bit. And so one of those things that I will look to play first, and I gave this away last week as well, it's the Chicago game over the total. And we're going to go back over with Chicago again. They're playing New York. I think there will be a lot of points. We saw since Scadaboo's gone down with New York, tough injury. They've had to kind of readjust things, but the change of quarterback has mattered, and they're scoring more points overall. So over with that type of game. And these plays in this segment have been really good. I think we're like 7 of the last 8.
Jack
I don't wanna
wants a
spring
freaking
my
cookie
arm,
for
pat
how
myself on the
these
back,
are
but there's
going.
been a lot of these that have hit. On the other end of that spectrum, you have anybody playing New Orleans,
Yeah.
even Carolina. And Carolina has not won and or covered as a favorite in like 3 years, 4 years.
I don't think have they been favored in the last
They're
4
0
years?
10. They're 0 10 as a favorite. They haven't covered, they haven't won ever as a favorite. But New Orleans, that's how bad. They haven't played this New Orleans team that's getting rid of some people. They don't have any game at all at quarterback. They can't fix these type of things during the course of the week, and the books will factor that in. But who's the lowest rated power ranked team over there right now?
Saints.
Perfect.
There you go.
So we're back in the game. So we're going to take the worst team in the league. I don't care who they're playing. These are auto bets for us where we can go forward. You can't make them low enough rated to be able to cover, even when they're playing a team that hasn't won and covered as a favorite in over 4 years.
Okay. So you're locked in on those.
Let's lock them down. Let's
right.
auto bet them every week if we
right.
need to.
So no defense.
Auto
for
bet. There you go.
Chicago.
Auto bet. That's a degenerate term. You probably don't get that over the book.
Auto,
but-
yeah, just keep
Not
it,
enough.
Just keep it going. All right. Well, Jay, I do want to talk to you about. We are at the halfway point in the season, and there have been teams that have been great for the book. There have been teams that have been pretty rough for the book. I own one of those teams in New England. But let's talk about some of the public teams that you've just been seeing everyone kind of go all in on that's really hurt you guys. I know I just mentioned New England. But...
Well, you look at the best teams, and they're always going to be the public teams. So you got so many interesting stories this year with Baltimore losing their quarterback, but their power ranking is through the roof still now that he's back. You got Kansas City, kind of stumbled out of the gate, but then all of a sudden looked like the old Kansas City team for about 3 weeks there. They're only 5-4, but they're highly ranked up there, and they're very, very public. Got the newbies with Indianapolis. They're right up there. Of course, Denver's right up there. They're getting a lot of momentum, but it's the usual suspects that are part of our world, and that's New Orleans. We're New Orleans fans every week. We're New York fans every week.
Yep.
Tennessee, right? Carolina. Those are all the book's favorite teams.
The teams no one wants to touch.
That's right, and that's why we need them every single week. And so mid-season, got a lot of interesting stories at the top, but Jack touched on it. Some really bad defenses out there, and the public knows those bad defenses, and they also play all those overs every single week. So we have some usual suspects every single week who we're rooting for or rooting against.
So Kansas City, they were heading before last week. They were a lot of the books had them as the highest ranked power rated team in the entire league. But if the playoffs start today, they don't make the playoffs. So how are you guys handling that? I mean,
that's a juggling act, really, because you look at it, and we know that they're ranked up there very high, their power ranking, but their record doesn't indicate it. I mean, I think there would be, what did you say? They're like 7th or 8th or maybe even out of the playoffs at this
right now.
point.
They're out.
Yeah. Eventually they're going to make it because you look at the rest of their schedule, it's pretty soft.
Yeah.
And they will make it. Nobody wants to play them.
Right.
There's a chance that Baltimore does the same thing, kind of runs the table and has an incredible second half because they have all the potential in the world, especially offensively, not defensively, but offensively. They can turn the tables around, and they would be a team that a lot of teams would like to avoid, in the playoffs. So it's a juggling act because we don't really care about their record. We only look at their power rankings, and that's how we set those lines.
I mean, 4 teams, because you kind of took my question there. Thank you for that. Baltimore.
Sorry.
Baltimore and Kansas City. Is it kind of like recency bias? Like you're hesitant to really change their ranking, even when, Baltimore had the start that they did. It's just we know what we're capable of. Know what they're capable of. You look at the roster. We're not going to let it slide too much kind of situation.
Well, there's no doubt that we look at the resume.
Yeah.
And historically we know how good they can be. And so when they're healthy and have all the tools, in place, they have all the potential in the world. But certainly we look at their resume and we know how capable these teams can be.
And from a gambling standpoint, they're kind of a rich man Chicago because they are great offensively when Jackson's back. They're really bad defensively, not great against the run. So from a gambling standpoint, over with them as well.
A rich man Chicago. I like it. Okay. All right. Still to come on Chalk and Chat. Jay is on the hot seat as if he wasn't already.
That's 3 segments of
Q&A with Jay. Yeah, we're just grilling this man all day long. We may or may not have a jingle, though, which you definitely will want to hear.
You're watching Chalk and Chat, sponsored by Superbook in Westgate, Las Vegas.
Hey, hey, what do you say? Time for Q&A with Jay Corning Gay.
like that? You like that, Jay?
How are we not in Spinal Tap? I mean, we literally.
Also, that's really good.
We are so talented. It scares me.
Yeah.
Like, how multifaceted are we?
People are going to be at dinner tonight singing that jingle.
Oh my gosh.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's the
Yeah.
new.
We already got our
Macarena.
producer singing it all morning long, and he doesn't want to be doing it, but
It
he is.
needed an intro
it's
because
catchy.
this is such a great segment. We get inside information that Teddy and I just simply and
We
Mariah
should
can't
probably
bring.
play it at the start of every block with the way that this has gone because we're just grilling Jay.
Oozing
but,
questions.
Lead
no.
singer, musician. okay.
Exactly.
Yes. Oh, me on the keys,
yeah.
man. Me on the keys.
There it is.
Okay.
What a group.
We're the oldest kindergartners in the entire building.
Fun fact, we got that xylophone from a baby of the station.
All right.
Anywho. All right, Q&A with Jay. We are peppering Jay with the questions that everybody wants to know about sports books. And this, what are we starting with here? Oh, how often do half points matter? That's a fun one.
Pass.
Pass?
Pass? You can't
I was like, oh
pass.
my God, we got to wrap
we can't
up.
pass.
We're going to circle back to it, Jay. So
It's rare, okay, but more than I think people realize. When you have the public betting, they don't care if it's 4.5. You won't see that on the sharp side. Sharp, every half point matters. Actually, we have a T-shirt that says every half point matters, and I don't know what the exact percentage is, but it's probably, I don't know, Jack. You probably have a better idea than I do. How often they do come into play.
Does a half point deter you sometimes?
it doesn't me. Now, there's some guys that it's all about the number. I mean, that's their whole thing. For me, I feel like if it's going to be close, I'm not going to release it. I'm not going to play it. And so I have a little different approach. That is more of a public view where I don't think they're going to be close, so I'm not going to play it. If I do, I'll pass because of that. But there are sharp guys that it's all about that number. If they're laying 3.5, they're not going to play it.
Right.
They'll either wait or lay off the game.
Well, if it's a football number, I can understand that.
Makes sense, right?
3, 3.5, 4, 4.5, 7, 7.5. But when it's 8, 8.5, I would probably bypass that and go ahead and play it. But if it's off a football number, sometimes I would hesitate, pending what the game is. If it's a defensive battle and you're looking at 3 or 3.5, it's even more likely that would come into
Those
play.
key numbers matter. Yep.
1,000%. All right, next up, everyone's favorite parlays and teasers. Does anybody win besides the house in those situations?
At times.
Not
at
one day,
times.
but long-term parlays.
Long-term,
Well,
big picture.
okay, we're talking. Okay, well, short term, yes. Long term, no.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the answer. People love them, as you know. They're very, very popular. Especially the same game parlays that we have out there nowadays. People love that low risk, high reward, right? Bet $10, win $100. Bet $10 to win $500. Whatever it might be. So that's why those things are so popular, because of that low risk, high reward scenario.
Yeah.
Before we move on to the third segment, we need to focus on that. Sorry to interrupt. But we had a guy inside information from the casino side who just said you're not going to make money betting parlays long term. So that's important information. Long term, it's a losing bet.
Yeah, and honestly, if you're a grown man and you're betting parlays and you tell me that, I'm assuming you were in a frat in college. And that's not a bad thing. I'm just saying 2 + 2 = 4. Okay, moving on now to some trade deadline stuff, because I'm always fascinated by this. The biggest move the biggest move that happened, Sauce Gardner going to Indianapolis. Moves like that, I know typically if it's not the quarterback, it's not really moving the needle much, but in this case, have Indianapolis's futures odds changed at all? Have any lines moved for this upcoming weekend's games based off of the trades that we saw on Tuesday?
No. I mean, you look at, there's a couple of them that were like borderline moving, and that might have put us over the top, pending what game we're talking about. But Sauce Gardner, that was a big name. Obviously, they gave up 2 number ones to get Sauce, but he usually does not affect the point spread. When you're talking about, you hit it on the head, it's usually a skilled position. I'm not saying the cornerbacks are not, because that's real important. If you have a shutdown corner, there's no doubt that they're going to help you win games. But as far as affecting the point spread, it's very rare, because it's usually high-end quarterback, obviously, pending the upgrade that they got. If they had a backup, their starter, and the only thing they had was their backup, and then they get an all-pro all coming to their organization, that is going to move the line and is going to move futures as well. But it's very rare that you see a defensive player. I'm not saying it won't, because it will move it at times, but it's very rare that a defensive player will move the line and or futures.
And people, they forget also that it's short term. You get a guy in on Tuesday, he's not going to make effect on that weekend. Sorry
Thank
about
you. Thank you, Jack. Okay. This is Q&A with Jay.
I was just adding. I wanted to
It's all right.
Jay, well, it's all right when we have the time for it. All right, finally on Chalk and Chat, we are going to the break because best bets are on the way and you do not want to miss it. Jack.
You're watching Chalk and Chat, sponsored by Superbook in Westgate, Las Vegas.
All right, it's time for best bets, and we have not one, not two, but three best bets for you. So we're going to start with Jack.
write them down. Tampa, New England, over the total. Tampa coming off a bye. Baker Mayfield obviously has been baking this year. 5-1 to the over their last 6 at home. New England, 11-5 to the over their last 16 games. That goes back obviously last year. Over the total in the Tampa, New England game.
All right, and Mr. J, what do you got for us?
I'm going with an Indy comeback here. After a pretty disappointing game against Pittsburgh, I think they bounce back. I think still one of the top teams in the league. They can run the ball. They can stop the run. And Atlanta, for some reason, can't run the ball anymore. And they're putting too much confidence in Penix, which I think is going to be very inconsistent and probably create some turnovers.
Gotta wake up early for that one.
Okay, yeah, seriously. All right, and we got little Teddy here to give his pick. Yep, you heard that first. He is going with the LA Bolts -3 defensive disparity. LA number 9 in yards per play allowed. Pittsburgh is ranked 24th. Teddy trusts Justin Herbert more than Aaron Rodgers these days. It's not even close. I'm reading that verbatim. That is what little Teddy has to say about that. Yeah, winning picks only. Okay,
Little Teddy's getting ready to karate
we're
chop
getting
somebody.
out of control. But like, look at that. Yeah. This is an all-star cast
It's our
right
favorite,
here.
right?
This table right here. Little Teddy just tops it off, the cherry on top. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us for this episode of Chalk and Chat. That's Jay. That's Jack. You can't even see us anymore. I'm Mariah. Little Teddy's here as well. Thank you so much. I hope you got some winners this weekend. Enjoy the games.